I don't know if we turned it over. That would be 5 turned it over, trying to be a little too cute. That would be one of those turnovers. I think that would have been the only one. I thought defensively the things that we were doing to change it up probably geared them down just a little bit. We were really struggling to guard them, particularly off the bounce. I thought we did a much better job in that stretch. I thought we did a better job collectively throughout the game of getting a paint touch, but against guys as good as they are, one paint touch is not good enough. You got to get them into rotation a second time. So the closeouts are longer, so you can drive the closeouts. Leads to more assists. So
I'm sure you'll get a better feel for it in the coming days, but the initial report on Chris Clark is what?
Sprained his left ankle.
Any prognosis on that?
It's just part of being hurt. You know, you tear up your right knee, odds are you're going to hurt your left leg. And he tore up his right foot and hurt his left leg. It's just whatever you want to call it, the atrophy of the one or the body imbalance was just part of it.
I know you're not a big barometer guy, but sitting here 14-13, 6-8, and you start to talk to your guys about maybe going to the NIT, and for some programs that might not be a big thing, but this program hasn't been in the postseason in a while.
I don't disagree with anything that you said. I know this sounds cornball, but it's the truth. I just tell it back to the team. And if they were sitting in here, I would say the same exact thing. And if you guys were sitting in the locker room, I would say the same exact thing. There would probably be too much profanity laced in it, but that's the truth. I think we're a long way away from playing in any postseason tournament. But I do think that winning today at least gives us hope, and I think hope is maybe the most valuable thing in life, if not in sport. And when you're rewarded for your work, it gives you breath. And how it all plays out, I don't know. What are we, 1-6 on the road? So I would say that Boston College will be favored in that game on Tuesday, just like Florida State was favored in this game today.
What was the message behind the cake and the taking a bite?
Being all over the locker room and the players there?
I'm guessing that was their doing, but what was the message behind what you were trying to say there?
Yeah. Don't want to cry. Win a battle, take a bite. Win a battle, take a bite. That was the core of it. The background of it's a long story. The summary of the story is, what is the battle, and how are we going to fight in that battle? And then when we win the battle, it's okay to take a bite and celebrate.
Coach, Florida State out of their game, that last part of the second half.
They're so talented. We're trying multiple things in the full court and the half court. We were trying multiple ball screen coverages. We were trying to do multiple things within our zone. Ford comes in today in conference play shooting 19% and makes 5 threes, more than he's made in their previous 14 games. They had more threes made than we had free throws made at halftime. Just think they're ultra talented. And I think that if you give any good player a steady diet of the same thing, they find a way to hurt you. And so I don't know that we were necessarily just shaking a bag up and hoping something worked. It was all things that we had worked on. But I think that we were able to get some consecutive stops there in that run that you were talking about within our zone. And it's just how crazy all this stuff is. The guys that were playing were not the guys that we practiced within that zone. And I think sometimes, when you're anxious because you are not prepared, sometimes that anxiousness actually makes you better because you're over communicating and you're over trying to do things right. And that's what we were doing in that particular run defensively.
Not to go backwards, but in terms of that cake story, it seems like there's more to that backstory you were getting ready to tell.
Yeah, it's a story. You would chop it up and wouldn't give it its due. So I'm trying to give you bites that you can handle.
Taught the rest of us, though.
Norm, you show up like every 21st day.
More than Teal.
Yeah, Till's a front runner, but I like Till, so I give him too much grace.
You don't like
No, I like you.
Where did it come from?
A friend of mine. I just think my problem is I care too much, and too T-double-O, and it grinds on me because I care too much, and I think sometimes because my mind is so chaotic, I'm way down the road, and I think everybody's on the same road that I am in the same vicinity, and they're not. They're on the same road. They're just way back here, and he was sharing his wisdom, and that's what I translated from it and thought it was great, and I shared it with our team. I think Five has little man syndrome, but he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for, and I think he's incredibly competitive. And I think most guys that have little man syndrome have an edge about them. Sometimes it's a negative edge. He's built in a very positive way. He's a beautiful kid, raised. I wish I was as good as his parents are, but he's not scared. And we'll ask a lot of our freshmen. That's part of the reason why they came. But when you're fighting these fights that they're fighting, for the first time, that's a lot at him. And Five he's not going to back into anything. He's going to run towards it. And those were big shots that he made.
Was it a coincidence that you guys run in the game with Seth, or right around when Seth came back? Did he really do something that's like maybe to energize everybody?
Well, those guys were getting winded, We went at that stretch that he's talking about. We're playing the same guys, but not being negative, there wasn't a lot of choices. Chris out, Seth's in the locker room. Within what we were trying to do defensively, it shrinks the five-man possibilities. So it wasn't like there was an option. And I think I put Seth and Five in at the same time. And I thought Jalen and Devin, I thought those two guys were spent. And so whatever they did to Seth, the timing of it was really good.
I think you touched on some of this stuff, I think back to November when you were that mic and you were talking to all the students, come out and be a big part of it. And so then today, that kind of drops in late in the game. I know it's kind of hard to see the forest for the trees sometimes. Do you mark these kind of moments as part of the building process?
Yeah, best question to ask. That's what I said on the radio. I think the best part of today was that our fans were rewarded again. Forced sellout. I think in some ways we're ahead of where anybody would have thought. But I would say if there was one category where we're further ahead than anybody would have anticipated is this groundswell support that our program / our kids and so in a selfish way, relative to the building of our program, I like it when the people that show up, that are showing up for the first time, wondering, is this going to be worth my time? When they're rewarded, not that winning necessarily is the reward, but when we play hard, when we play the game the right way, when the atmosphere, timeouts and halftime, I don't even know all that. I think that's big because you're coming to Castle needs to be something outside of Castle that everybody goes, man, that's hard to win. Because that's a step in doing something. That's a step in becoming relevant. And the next step is to win the road. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I know that kind of comes across arrogant. I haven't had nothing. That's the marketing. That's the associate and the assistant ADs doing all the stuff to pump it all up. That's the students getting involved. That's the Castle Guard. It's all those people, most of which I don't even know. But I know the ambiance changes, and I know the ambiance has continued to change in a positive way over the last couple of months. It's a shame that the league scheduled 2 home games for us in February, but that's just part of being last. You're going to get the short end of the stick. I try to be so politically correct, even though I have no politicalness in my body. I'm tired of being disrespected by those that are supposed to be justifiably fair. At some point, somebody needs to be the adult. So they can find me. Whit can tell me to be quiet. They're wrong. They're wrong. You don't play 5 games on the road, 2 games at home in a 27-day stretch. You don't do that. But that's what they assigned us, and that in some ways makes it even more, it's just a little bit easier. It's a little bit funner when you can score. It's not such a grind. I don't know that we can average 83, but you're not going to win many games scoring 44. We scored 44 at Miami or 45? 49. Oh, 49. Miserable. Thank you, guys.